Dr. Jen, you and I go back to my time in Philly, and it's nice to see a familiar face. I always appreciate the invaluable insight that you offer us. So good morning.
Thank you. It's good to see you too.
Yeah. So the latest health data from numerous states has revealed that the first signs of the expected post-Thanksgiving surge is already here, or it's at least certainly coming sometime soon. Would you agree with that?
I do agree with that. And I don't think that we've felt the full impact of the sort of post-Thanksgiving surge as it is. Researchers and scientists have estimated that this is going to get worse. I agree. And I'm worried about the holidays coming up, Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's, et cetera. I am worried about this. We are literally in dire straits. We're averaging well over 200,000 cases per day. We've had record numbers of deaths into the thousands, 2,000, 3,000 in some cases. This is really, we're in an emergency state right now, and we all have to treat it that way.
I know you have also touched on that on your Instagram, encouraging people with some of your videos to stay put for the holidays. Hopefully people take that heed that warning for Christmas and New Year's Eve. One thing that we've been talking about all morning long is some of the restrictions that we're seeing, especially in Maryland, banning indoor dining. A lot of people are saying it's extreme. It's an extreme measure, and some businesses will end up closing because of it. Do you think it's necessary? Do you think things are so bad that it is reasonable to ban indoor dining?
First of all, I should say that no one wants to shut down the economy or pull back with the economy. None of us wants to see, indoor dining going away. And by the way, it's going away and sort of being pulled back in many states and locales throughout the country because of the increase in COVID cases and deaths and hospitalizations that we're seeing. No one wants this. I can say with relative certainty, I certainly don't. But what we're seeing is we are seeing unprecedented numbers of COVID cases, as I mentioned, deaths and hospitalizations, in some cases worse than what we saw during sort of the first initial surge back in March and April. I don't know that it's fully understandable that we're always realizing really what this means. We are losing thousands and thousands of Americans over time. This is something that we can do something to try to prevent. Yes, we are waiting for a COVID vaccine, and the FDA panel did recommend that the emergency use authorization be given. The FDA has to vote on this, but we have to do all we can on the ground. So while, no, I don't like to see restaurants being closed, indoor dining being shut down, stores, and it's happening where I live and so many places where businesses are closing. It is devastating. But what's also devastating is literally the loss of life that we are seeing every single day due to this virus. And we have to do everything we can.
What do you say to people, especially with Christmas right around the corner, who say, you know what, I'll just do my best. I'll keep my mask on. I'll wash my hands. I'll try to keep a 6-foot distance. In other words, is it within people's control somewhat to not spread the virus if they follow certain guidelines? Or would you just suggest don't bother being a part of any gatherings with family members that maybe you haven't seen in a long time?
That's an excellent question. So the truth of the matter is we can do a lot with mask wearing, social distancing, staying out of crowds, et cetera. In fact, that's the guidance, of course, we've been giving all along, and we know it works. So there are people who say that masks don't work. Well, they do, and they help a lot. Social distancing is very important, not being in groups, et cetera. However, we still need to do that, but for the holidays, I suggest, as well as so many public health organizations, that no non-essential travel needs to be undertaken. And what I mean by that specifically is if you don't have to go anywhere for the holidays, if you don't have to travel, I recommend people not travel. Do not get together with people outside of your bubble. Say what we mean by that is your household, people that you've been sort of quarantining with and things like that. We know that small gatherings has been a main driver of many of the cases that we've seen in the last few months, along with things like Thanksgiving travel, et cetera. This is not the time to travel. This is not the time to have Christmas, Hanukkah festivities, New Year's festivities with people outside of your household. Yeah. I know it's tough. I'm someone who lives by myself, and I spent Thanksgiving alone, and Christmas will be the same. But we have to remember that our sacrifices today will help us tomorrow, and this is really important.
Yeah, the best way to show how much you love your family and friends is to stay home for the holidays. Yes. Dr. Caudle, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us and always providing such clarity and insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.